All right, so there is some NFL stuff that has been broken that I feel like there's quite a bit to talk about that I really don't want to miss. So let's just talk about it a little bit. Now, regarding me as a Chiefs fan, there's some good news that we got today, and that's Chris Jones and Charvarius Ward are activated off the COVID-19 list, which is amazing because Chris Jones, I mean, Ward has become a very, very good cornerback for the Chiefs, but also Chris Jones, we missed him badly in the run game last week. So seeing him back is definitely going to make a huge difference. It's going to be nice to get a rush on the quarterback, being able to stop the run inside. It's seeing Chris Jones back. That is a huge win for the Chiefs defense. Some more news when it comes to COVID. Dalvin Cook is on the COVID list for the Vikings, which is not good for the Vikings. He's one of their best players on offense. And if Kirk Cousins has a bad throwing night like he did against the Bears, he can rely on the run game, but having him out kind of stinks. But they do have Alexander Madison, who is definitely going to be a guy who can step up. He's shown that he can step up in the wake of Dalvin Cook being down. The Saints are preparing to start rookie quarterback Ian Book with Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian on the COVID list. Now, I don't know what this means. I've never seen Ian Book play, but I'm just going to go off the cuff here and say that definitely is going to help the Dolphins, because the Dolphins, they're on like a 6 or 7 game winning streak right now. And with the Saints not really having a starting quarterback, they're starting a guy that they've never played before. He's a rookie. I think the advantage definitely goes to the Dolphins on that one. Washington activates Taylor Heineke from the COVID reserve list, which is definitely going to be good. Garrett Gilbert he was fine for Washington, but I think Heineke is definitely the better quarterback of the two. And I don't even think it's really close when it comes to them. Now, if we wanted to talk about the Pro Bowl, the Pro Bowl rosters were released, and I think there was quite a few snubs. You look at the quarterbacks in the NFC first. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, perfectly makes sense. Kyler Murray, I would make an argument that you could have put Matthew Stafford in over him. I think Kyler Murray being in a selection was kind of a miss. You have James Conner as a running back for the NFC, Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara as well. I think you could argue that Cordell Patterson should have definitely been the other running back in for the NFC. The AFC looks a little bit silly as well. You have Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes. Now, I don't know why Justin Herbert would be the starter over Patrick Mahomes, because Mahomes has been the best quarterback in the AFC this season. I don't understand why Herbert's starting. I think he's definitely a little bit better than Herbert, but again, it's just a Pro Bowl, so we're just talking about the snubs here. Lamar Jackson made it in, which makes absolutely no sense, because I think you can make an argument for Joe Burrow or Josh Allen to make it in. Lamar Jackson being in makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. I think the running backs make sense for the AFC. Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon. Tight ends, they make complete sense. You have Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce. Now, when it comes to the centers, it makes absolutely no sense to me how Creed Humphrey isn't there. Like he's a rookie, but I don't care that he's a rookie. He's literally playing like the best center in the entire league right now, and the fact that he's not in there just makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. So I think there was quite a few snubs this year. I think there's guys that honestly shouldn't have been there. You know, you got guys like Lamar Jackson having a really bad year. And then you have Kyler Murray on the other side. You know, you could argue that Matthew Stafford should have taken his spot, because Kyler Murray also has missed quite a few games this season, whereas Matthew Stafford has been there in every single game. So there's kind of this Pro Bowl roster, if you ask me, makes absolutely no sense. I don't understand it. I really, really don't. And the fact that Herbert starting over Mahomes in the AFC doesn't make sense. But as a Chiefs fan, I'm fine, because at the same time, if you think about it, I'm hoping the Chiefs are playing in February, so the Pro Bowl doesn't matter. Next, I want to look at the teams and some possible playoff clinching situations. For Kansas City, if they win and the Chargers end up losing to the Texans, which I don't think is going to happen, but if the Chiefs win, Chargers lose, then the Chiefs will wrap up their division. And I believe no matter what happens, if the Chiefs can get a win, they will at least clinch a playoff spot. The Patriots need a little bit to happen to clinch their division. They need to beat the Bills, and then they also need Miami to lose. Tennessee, they need a whole bunch of things to happen right now. The Cardinals, they can clinch a playoff berth at least with a win. So playoff berth-wise, I think the Cardinals will make it in. You have the Cowboys. They clinch their division with a win, which I think they'll end up beating Washington and getting a win there. The Rams will clinch a playoff berth if they can get a win. Tampa Bay clinches the South with a win. So the playoff picture is starting to take shape, starting to say that it's starting to finally wrap up. I think the top teams are definitely, we know what's going to happen there. The bottom end teams, it's going to be a cluster, and it's going to come down to the last week of the season. The AFC as a whole, I think, is going to come down to the last week of the season, because there's like between the 7 and 13 seed. It's separated by 1 game. They're all either 8 and 6 or 7 and 7 right now. So it's top heavy in the AFC, but literally everybody else underneath. There's still 13 teams alive in the AFC to make the playoffs. But there are a few teams that can clinch the playoffs by winning this weekend. It's going to be a really fun weekend. But I just wanted to make a separate video containing some of the news because there was quite a bit that came out that I felt like it was fair to talk about some of this. But give me your thoughts down below of what you thought of some of these news stories, and I will see you in the next one.